Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from Sherwood Forest in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, Hour 1 of the Von Haessler Doctrine starts right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Eric Von Haessler, surrounded by the lovely Doctrinaires. Man of 1,000 voices, Tim Andrews. Lady of quite a few voices in her own right, Autumn Fisher. Handsomest producer in all producery, Jared Yamamoto.
You know what? I'm digging it today here, Eric.
You're digging it?
Yeah, it's actually nice and warm in the studio. What's come over you?
No,
this is great.
I tried to turn it down, and it wouldn't turn down. Somebody is working against me in this building. If people don't know, our data, our research shows us we have the audience is growing at an unbelievable, we have new people constantly. So some people may not know that I like to work in what I would call a polar environment. I like it to be very cold, and I don't see a problem with it because I'm the host. I look across over my microphone after I'm doing my, just unbelievable, great radio that I do every day. I look across and I see you guys shivering, and sometimes I almost care. But in reality, I think it's important that the host be as comfortable as the host can be. And by the way, you just put on a jacket. It's not that difficult.
I think Autumn should have to have a cold room, too, so we're all on the same page.
Oh, you guys, I'm so cold.
How can I check this out? She's in
I'm
a closet.
definitely not in my pajamas.
Thermostat cam.
Somewhere in her. Oh, yeah, I'll get one of those Nest.
Yes.
This is how I'll get in. I'll say, Autumn, this is great. I'm going to pick up your bills. Not every bill, just your heating bill. And I'll have it on I'll be able to monitor how cold it is there through my iPhone. Because I believe that this is an improvised show. I don't know if people realize this, but every day we come on here and somewhere between 3.5 and 2.5%, or 3.5 and 5% are planned. The rest is completely improvised. And I think you got to have your brain going. Now, I don't know if you know this. Now, so the air molecules are thinner, right, when it's colder.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is why when you're watching a NASCAR race, the colder it is, the faster the cars will go, because actually the molecules in the air are smaller, which means more of them will fit through the carburetor. They don't have carburetors anymore, but you know what I mean. When they had carburetors, more would fit through the carburetor, and you'd be able to push more out of the tailpipe. Well, I say the same thing goes with the human brain. If it's cold, you get more molecules of air packed up your nose, and that gets into your brain, and you can improvise better. So I'm doing it not just for myself and my own comfort, but yours as well.
You end up creating a mini bomb cyclone here in the studio. Everywhere else is nice and warm throughout the building.
First of all, let's not modify bomb cyclone. Yes, the one who lost his gallbladder years ago will be responsible for any bombing cyclones. What did you call it? A mini bomb cyclone? Let's not modify something that's not real. I've been alive for 55 years. I've been aware of the things around me for at least 40. And I've never heard bomb cyclone before, like 2 years ago.
How about tail end tornado?
No, I never heard tail end
You're
tornado.
about to.
What about polar vortex?
So you're done bombing us, and now it's going to be you got an F1 packed in there.
That's right. You better turn that heat down.
Speaking of racing. Hey, so before we go forward, I believe that you have somebody who was, I don't know if they're chastising me on the open mic. I don't know if they're mocking me. Perhaps they're mock-tizing, a little bit of both. So I've been mock-tized, so let's hear it.
You go, Van Haessler. You keep on smoking that libertarian wacky weed like small government. Like that's going to happen.
Well, I find it interesting. I am a reasonable libertarian. First of all, when I say libertarian, I don't even mean the party necessarily. I just mean worldview, point of view. But I'm not like most of the people who are probably listening right now. People who are into current events, left and right, have become all or nothing people. We get it all or we get nothing, or I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not like that. I'm reasonable. I'm looking for the least amount of government possible at any given time. I don't walk around saying, well, I'm not going to take part until we core this thing down to its bare constitutional minimum, and that's going to be the federal government. I'm not like that. I think there's too many all-or-nothing people. I believe that lower taxation is good for everybody. That's what I believe. That's my belief, that I look out for what you would call the little guy. I believe in lower taxation, more money in the hands of the private sector than the public sector, and everybody relatively does better. But I'm not all or nothing. I want the lowest taxes possible today, given whoever the president is today, given whoever runs Congress today. And tomorrow, I will advocate for the lowest possible taxes tomorrow, given whoever the president is tomorrow. I'm not one of these crazy off-the-range libertarians. And I think there's too much of this, depending on, it doesn't matter where you come from, the left or the right. You know, we're going to get into it a little bit later on with Kemp's announcement. You know, you can't swing back and forth like this constantly. Brian Kemp was a hero to the most conservative Republicans in Georgia a few months ago, because he proposed one of the most radical anti-abortion laws, not proposed, enacted. It's now been put on hold, which everybody knew it would be, while it works its way through the courts. But just 5 or 6 months ago, the same people calling this guy a rhino because they don't like who he's going to pick for the Senate, just 6 months ago are like, no, this is the core kind of dude I'm talking about, because he's not afraid to put forward this kind of pro-life law and put his name next to it. You see, you can't do that. You can't whip back and forth. Just like you're a sailboat, and whichever way the winds go, you go with it. In reality, you're expecting too much from your politicians if you think you're always going to get what you want. You assess these people at the end of their terms, and you say, well, what did I like? What didn't I like? Cost-benefit ratio to myself. Where do we end up? You should, if you're a Republican, you should judge this governor after 4 years and make a little list in your head. Okay, he did this. I liked that. He did this. I didn't like that. He didn't. Everything is presented as Armageddon. The left presented the pro-life law as Armageddon. Well, nothing has changed today from the time that thing happened. Now it's going where it's going. So now we're told, oh my goodness, if Brian Kemp puts in this Kelly Loeffler, Armageddon. Everything can't be Armageddon. By the way, while CNN is telling us we're all going to die in 40 years because the climate. Armageddon. The von Haessler Doctrine is here to help you navigate a world and remind you that almost every story in the news does not represent potential Armageddon. We have to be here to remind you of that, because the only way to sell news these days, online, on television, quite frankly, sometimes on radio, not here, especially at the top of the bottom of the hour, because we've got Chris Kemp in charge. He knows what he's doing. But you know what I'm saying. Negativity sells. And when we were just in a newspaper magazine kind of world, negativity was enough to sell. Now there are so many blogs and outlets and 24-hour news things and everything coming at you that negativity isn't enough to stand out. The headline has to tell you how this will probably kill all of us. That's like 30% of the headlines today.
That's true.
X, whatever we're talking about in the headline, if this is not handled, will probably end up killing all of us. Well, the von Haessler Doctrine is here to inform and entertain, but mostly, right now, we're kind of like the catcher in the rye. Our job is to stand by and just push you back up on the playground and go, no, it's not quite that bad. Get back up there. You know what? If you're on the left or the right, in reality, you might lose this one, but get back up there on the playground. You're probably going to be okay. Just because you lost on Monday doesn't mean you're going to lose for the rest of the days of the week. But if you're interested in politics, number one, and on day one, understand that you will lose. Ideas, when you back campaigns, no person has lived a long life in America and been part of the public life of America and the civic life of America for 50, 60, 70 years and has the experience of never losing. Who the hell do you think you are? You, listening to me right now, who the hell do you think you are? Why do you think you have the right to win everything in politics? And why do you expect that from your politicians? First of all, politicians, 80% of them, are horrible people. Do you recognize this? The founders did. That's why they put them in a big old box. They created checks and balances. And they said, well, we know the kinds of characters that would come out of the woodwork for this. So let's put them in this box, and we'll basically create a constitutional circular firing squad that they can never get out of, so they can never turn their guns on the people. That's the beauty of the whole thing. The von Haessler Doctrine is here just to say, hey, remember this. The world, and I've said this before, but it bears repeating from time to time. The world is not the world that is presented to you through your screens, your television screen, your mobile device, your computers. The actual world is, in fact, the world that you live in and deal with every day, where you go to work and look around, and a lot of people who look a lot different from each other and have different backgrounds and different religions figure out a way. They figure out a way. At XYZ Insurance Company, they figure out a way to work together every day. The local news never called in, never an incident. By the way, that represents 98% of us. They're going to wake up today and go to work. That's the world. Why are you so afraid to believe what your eyes tell you and what your own personal experiences tell you about the world? But we live in a world where we get along, and we all go to our kids' baseball games, and different types of people and backgrounds, they get along. And then we come home and turn on the news or we'll look at our mobile, and then we get angry about the world that we live in. And how come people are, what about the world you just left before you walked in? That's the real world. The real world is the world that you actually live in, your interactions with people, not what Don Lemon tells you is going on in the world. I mean, he has his place and he has his opinion, and that's valid, but that's not the world. Hey, I could hear people, yeah, that's right, Don Lemon's on CNN. Well, I got news for you. What you see on Fox News is not the real world.
Tell me about it, buddy.
I'll tell you about it. Fox Business Network. I've been digging into this Ukraine thing. Oh, my goodness. This couple that's always on Lou Dobbs, telling Lou Dobbs' audience that everybody they don't like in the Democrat Party will be put in jail soon. Oh, it's coming. They're all going to go to jail. What is it, Victoria Tensing and Joe DeJavanova?
They're the couple, right?
Yeah, the couple. Yeah, dig down at what's going on in Ukraine. Whoa, there they are. Yeah, but Eric, they vote the same way I do, so I don't really think it's any kind of conflict of interest that they would be in up to their eyeballs in the Ukraine stuff and then come on Lou Dobbs and talk about it and not tell me that they're up in their eyeballs. Yeah, Eric, I'd hold that against a Democrat, but did you notice they have an R in front of their name? Get out of here. Why do you allow yourselves to be led around by the nose? Live your life. Lou Dobbs doesn't know what the hell to tell you about how to live your life, and neither do his guests. I'm sorry, Sean. Sarah A. Carter has never delivered on one promise of one revelation.
That's what you think, buddy.
Here it comes. And then watch these, and then you see what's going to happen today. This carnival show that continues today, where now the impeachment goes to the Judiciary Committee.
It's being described as a frat party by
hold on. I'll get to how they're describing it. But I saw, when you talk about describing, I looked up, I saw CNN, big panel, like 8 people. Impeachment inquiry goes to the Judiciary. How do these people ever get tired? Like, how do they keep on figuring out a new way to say the same damn thing? Yeah, they're all dressed up, and they showered, and they put their best tie on. I'm going to go sit on CNN and say the same damn thing I've been saying for the last 3 years. Except I used to say it about Mueller. Now I'm saying it about something else. But I got to go on CNN, be part of an 8-person panel, and let everybody know that, boy, Trump's going to get it soon. It's obvious. And you look at what's going to happen. It's in the Judiciary Committee. That's where it always should have been. And what you're looking at, it doesn't matter who you vote for. The temperature on Peachtree is the same no matter who you vote for. I'm talking about realities here. It simply doesn't matter who you vote for or who you like or if you love Trump or you hate Trump. It doesn't change the fact that right now it's 41 degrees on Peachtree, and what's going to start today in the Judicial Committee is a kangaroo court. It doesn't matter what you believe about politics or how you vote. The fact that what's going to start today is a kangaroo court is a 2 + 2 = 4 fact. What is a kangaroo court? There's a lot of different sort of slight modifications of what it means, but one of the things that it can mean is exactly what you're going to see today. The reason you have a kangaroo court is because you feel like you can't just take a guy out back and shoot him in the head. That's the most extreme. You can't execute somebody, right? If it's frontier justice or something, we got to at least pretend that we've got a system here of justice. So a kangaroo court is any time you have proceedings that are supposed to be inquiries that find facts and evidence to go towards an indictment, but the jury knows how they're going to vote before the first witness is called. Bingo! Does anybody think that's not what's going on today? I don't care how you vote or who you love. Does anybody think that any Democrat on that Judiciary Committee doesn't already know how they're going to vote before they call their first witness? It's a kangaroo court, and it's now 42 degrees on Peachtree.
The Von Haessler Doctrine.
They have such a beautiful chemistry.
Making listeners laugh every day.
The world could use a little more of that these days.
9 to noon on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
All right, we had a dropout from the presidential race.
That's right. Kamala Harris said that yesterday was, quote, one of the hardest decisions of her life, ending a once promising campaign.
Oh, yeah, that's what the headline said. A once promising campaign. When was it? I think the last time this campaign was promising. On day one, do you remember? She opened up with Bernie-sized crowd, 20,000 people. This campaign went in reverse. Almost from day one, right, Kamala? You didn't really
Let
work
me turn my microphones. I'm so upset I forgot to do that. Listen, now I got more time for my book club and wine and getting out there and fighting the good fight. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
You're still going to fight. Do you have the audio where she says she's not a billionaire? I like the little shot. Oh, you got to be a billionaire. Yeah, I don't know. Is Mayor Pete a billionaire? He's still in it.
No, he's not a billionaire.
My campaign for president simply does not have the financial resources to continue. I'm not a billionaire. I can't fund my own campaign.
Right, so, no, the reason you can't fund your own campaign, if you have ideas that attract potential voters and supporters, and they give you money, that's how almost every campaign for presidency has gone. A few have gone to billionaires who have paid their own money. Not many. And so I don't think that's really an excuse. She was, the minute she was so frivolous very early on about, yeah, let's just turn over health care. Anybody who has health care right now, it's gone. That was the minute. At some point, the progressive media is going to realize that the primary voters in the Democrat Party are not nearly as progressive as the media who tell them how wonderful they are all the time. Right?
Yeah.
The impeachment hearings, the kangaroo court. Some people got back to me and said, Eric, you say it's a kangaroo court because it's always a kangaroo court if members of the jury know how they're going to vote before they actually see the case. And I said, well, does anybody believe that any Democrat in the Judiciary Committee doesn't already know how they're going to vote before they bring their first witness? And, well, what about the Republicans? Them too? Well, yeah, it's a kangaroo court because we all know how the Republicans are going to vote as well before they see anything. But here's the difference. Republicans aren't going to decide the fate. Fate is going to be decided with those who have more jurors in the jury box. And right now that's Democrats. So, yeah, it's a kangaroo court all the way around. Kangaroo court is just at a time when you know what you want the outcome to be, but you're also aware of the fact you want to make it look like it was legitimate. So, we went through all these hearings and...
So you don't need me there?
No, I don't know. No. The kangaroo...
Was it helping all around the court there?
He's the kangaroo hunter. I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
The kangaroo hunter.
What?
No, we don't need you.
Watch me, I'll box him for you.
Hey, but if you are interested in the impeachment hearings, they're going to start at 10 o'clock. And WSB is the place to be, except they're not going to take me off the air. What, are you kidding me? WSB isn't stupid. They're not going to take me off the air for some boring impeachment hearings. But you can stream the hearings from gavel to gavel if that's the kind of lifestyle you lead. Yes, indeed. You can stream the hearings from gavel to gavel on WSBradio.com and the WSB Radio app. I believe you had an open mic you played there.
Yeah, you know what? You opened the show talking about how we improv the show a lot.
Yeah,
and,
no, I would say, what did I say? Like 95% of the show is improvised.
Yeah, and this open micer is confused about it.
So are we currently improvising about improvising, or was this planned to talk about how the show is improvisational? I'm confused.
Yes, I was reading from a script about how the show is improvisational. Actually, the word of the day. You know what? O'Reilly used to have a word of the day. It was the only part of his show I liked. I would tune in the end, see the word of the day. Because it's something in America we used to do quite a bit when language mattered. In families, right? There was always like the uncle or somebody, and you'd have a word of the day and just throw it out there. It wasn't something you learned in school. It's just like, a word of the day. So I want to bring it back here since I'm not so handsy. I'm not so touchy-feely in the office. So I'm going to be on for a while. So I think my word of the day will stick around. Pirandello, you know what that is?
I have no idea.
Pirandello. Yeah,
it's a kind of jello made of a fruit, pirindot?
Almost, except no.
No? Oh.
No.
I don't know. Don't even look at me.
You don't know?
Hell no.
Pirandello is mirror inside of a mirror inside of a mirror inside of a mirror. It's actually a guy's name. He was a playwright. And it was the style. But that's what this guy is saying. That's what he's commenting on. He's like, what am I looking into? A mirror image of a mirror image? And you're improvising about improvising? Pirandello, see? These are words that may have come up if O'Reilly just could have managed to keep his hands to himself. All right, let's do this.
Headlines for Wednesday, December 4th.
That's why you got to keep your hands to yourself, Tim Andrews. You're a bright guy.
Oh, I keep them to myself constantly.
Well, yeah.
I mean, all the time.
It depends on where you are.
Car.
I've seen the videos.
Gas station bathroom.
How does that happen?
What?
Well, you see these videos of people are out in public and they're getting it on.
Oh, they can't control themselves.
I've never. Actually, there was one time first radio station I ever worked at. We were on the the fourth floor and there was a park. You look out the window down at the park. One of the other guys on the radio said, "Hey, come over here. There's a guy over there, and he's sitting down up against that brick wall, and everybody else around him is enjoying lunch, and he appears to be having relations with himself." And it was true. It was the only time I ever saw anything like that. But there was no camera crew around to capture the moment. Not that I saw.
Not the good old days.
Yeah. Back when they used to have like now, with this horrific pornography that we see. I mean, just absolutely
prolific,
horrific,
and that
horrific. With this, it's easy to do stuff like this because you got cameras. You can do stuff with your phone.
Everybody wants to put on a show.
They wanted to do that outdoor stuff back in the 70s. Oh my God! Boom microphones. People from the local college.
I have a 2,000-pound half-inch video camera.
It's very difficult. Maybe that's why there's more of it available now than there was back in the old days. I don't know. That's a good thing.
If you wanted to share, you had to make copies and mail it to all your family members.
I think it's a sickness, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, what? What in particular?
Exhibitionism.
Yeah, it's a sickness, right?
I think so.
Would you agree with me?
I don't think it's a sickness. I think it's a fetish.
Yeah, well, not all fetishes are healthy. Can we agree on that?
I see two young entrepreneurs when I think of.
Because they know they're going to sell this.
Yeah.
Look, it started the whole Kardashian empire, and see, you're now considered the smartest person, entrepreneurial lady.
Yeah, I
person.
hope that Kanye runs for president, and I'll be his vice president and first lady.
No, you're
going to be the other way around.
You'll be the first lady. Oh, you think she's going to be the president?
Absolutely.
No, I'll be vice. No, the wife is the vice president.
Yeah,
I understand that. Yeah.
Yes. We know how it works.
Yeah.
I would be the vice.
Right now, Melania is the vice president.
Yeah.
She's doing a great job, by the way. I'm going to send her over to speak with Putin.
I'm getting my law degree.
I know, Miss Kardashian. Online. Those are usually the best. You know, when I've had a couple. I
object.
Hold on.
Permission to approach the bench.
Did you just learn these terms? Very, very good.
Yes, University of Reno Online.
Kim Kardashian.
We should have a gwardier.
Let's have a gwardier.
Gwardier.
Gwardier. Is that a thing you put champagne in, isn't it? No? Is that not a gwardier?
Yeah.
Isn't that the guy who serves you the wine? The Gwadir serves you the wine, right? No, I got that wrong.
Oh, right. Like that one knows all about the wines and like where it comes from.
I like how you look at me. I'm uncultured. I don't know what it is.
I know it's not the guy.
But I didn't know that it was.
That's a sommelier or something like that. All right, what do you got for me?
The Governor Kemp is set to make his big Senate decision this morning at 10 a.m.
I don't like it.
Well, tough luck.
I tell you what, I don't like it.
Rhino Kemp has sealed his fate. He'll be a one-time governor.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Don't be late.
And to watch the heads explode.
He is somebody that will be a great governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp.
Oh, things have turned around. I can't quite figure this out. Oh, by the way, we are apparently... I was just bragging about the fact that WSB isn't silly enough to take me off the air to put those boring impeachment hearings on. However, at 10 o'clock, when Governor Kemp makes this announcement, I believe we will be covering it live.
But you know what, Eric? I believe we actually have the decision.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, this is interesting. You know, we have a close association with Governor Kemp. And actually, we know what the decision is going to be already. As a matter of fact, we have it right here.
And this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
That was LeBron's decision. That wasn't Kemp's decision. I get those two confused.
That's right, Mr. Ron DeSantis and I are swapping places. I'm going to go down and take over Florida.
Yeah,
You
take
can
your
come
talents.
up there. Take my talents to the state where they appreciate rhinos.
Yeah, all the best rhinos come from Florida.
That's
Everybody knows
right.
that.
I'm sick of being called a rhino. I'm more of a, I don't know, a hippo.
All right, what is that? What's a hippo?
I'm a stalwart.
Okay. Don't call yourself a wart. That's a horrible
Star
thing.
Wars?
Stalwart.
You're a stalwart. You don't move.
He's mispronouncing Star Wars.
That's what it is.
I do look forward to the rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, you told me you like all the feminization of the Star Wars.
That's the best part. I like how they
there's diversity on those
carelessly
planets.
kill off all the original characters people like and just get some weirdos in there that nobody
I
likes.
understand that as they turn Star Wars into all this social justice stuff and everything.
Yeah.
But we're told that it was it's a long time ago in the past, right? Out there in the universe. But isn't it
a
funny?
long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. And then 40 years go by in that galaxy so far away, so long ago, and they've got the same wokeness that we do. What are the odds? Don't you feel better that the universe is now diverse? All those planets you'll never go to, they're all very diverse.
That's what it is. For years and years, it wasn't diverse or anything.
Yeah.
Now the whole damn universe is caught up with us.
Exactly. We're catching up with the universe. It's just odd that...
Hey, I named a woman.
Well, you haven't done it yet.
I'm gonna.
You're gonna name a woman.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, you're gonna name
Doug.
Kelly Loeffler.
That's her name?
That's
I thought
her
it was
name.
Ann Coulter.
No, it's Kelly Loeffler.
Well, you know what? You actually have Mitch McConnell and most of the Senate on your side.
Sounds to me like the governor of Georgia made a terrific appointment. She will be an incumbent Republican senator. We will all be behind her. Everything I've heard about her is extremely, I think she's going to be terrific.
Here's the problem. She's never run for office before. And she has to run again. Excuse me, Mitch? You all right?
Yeah, but have you had a look at her?
You'll be like,
I mean,
Kentucky.
all the pretty ones are on the other side of it. And we got one
All
of
right,
our own.
Mitch.
Yeah.
Too much
You ain't gotta be
Kentucky
tough
bourbon.
to look out when you're debating for the What?
It's making me just wonder. I need an insider, like Eric Erickson or somebody to tell me what's really going on here. Who is Doug Collins pissed off? It seems to me like he's the obvious choice here. You need this seat. Now, if Kemp puts Loeffler out there and she turns out to be this transformative candidate who can keep the base and bring in suburban women and all of that, then he'll look like a genius. But it seems like it might be too clever by half, by reading the tea leaves early, seeing where the demographics are going, trying to get ahead of it. But then you're going to go with somebody who's never run for office, let alone in a district, let alone an entire state. And I've lived here for 20 years. Doug Collins looks like a guy who wins statewide in Georgia to me. Now, are things changing? I guess. But am I wrong about the population of this state? Don't most people live outside the metro Atlanta area? I don't know what that break. I know in the metro Atlanta area, we're at like 6 or 7 million, right?
Right. I think it's about half and half. I'll double check on that. I think it's about 12 million.
No one in Valdosta knows who the hell Kelly Loeffler is. And the guys who've been, shooting the bull for the last few years in Valdosta may not have a great idea who Collins is, but they're aware of him. So if you just look at practical things, within a year, she basically has to start running for office immediately. So it doesn't allow her to really do a whole lot except go and be a good, staunch supporter of Trump or something while she's there. But as far as legislation goes, she's not going to have time to prove herself. So you're naming somebody who has to go introduce herself to everybody in Valdosta. Whereas I think with Collins, you start in a different way. He just seems like the obvious choice to me. I don't like the idea of threats coming from the president or this, what's his name, Representative Matt Goon out of Florida. I don't like that. And I don't think the president should be trying to bully our governor. I don't like that. But I think they're right on the issue. I think Collins is the better choice. So I really want somebody to tell me, who is Doug Collins upsetting? In the state or in D.C. or wherever? There's something more here. Now that Kamala has left the race, it's time for you know what? You should be a leader on this one. It's time for the rest the people who have no chance. Amy Klobuchar, are you listening? You're not going to be the next president. Move on. Amy Klobuchar is not going to be president because to me, she looks like your mom's friend or that lady your mom works with at CVS.
She's a CVS manager.
Yeah, she's the manager of the local CVS, just the pharmaceutical department.
Yeah.
Highly, nice person, highly competent. Not the next president.
Yeah, but if you don't stock the shelves right, she comes at you.
Look, hey, there's a reason she got the manager job.
She
there
gets things done.
Deborah, please see this. You have put the stock in the wrong place.
Sorry, Amy. I thought this is where they went.
No. This is the brand name. This is the CVS brand name.
Amy Klobuchar.
You put them in the wrong place on the shelf.
Amy Klobuchar is that friend of your mother's that doesn't annoy you, but you don't really necessarily. Just every once in a while she comes over and, like if it was the 70s, like with my mom, Amy Klobuchar was like my mom's friend who came over a couple times a month and smoked cigarettes and drank coffee at the table and gossiped.
You are getting tall.
Pot of coffee, 2 packs of cigarettes minimum in 3 hours between them.
You have grown, boy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going in my room.
Hey, thank you, Mrs. Klobuchar.
Can you show me where it is?
Did Scotty come with you? No, Scotty didn't come over?
No, Scotty's not here. It's just mommy and me. Come sit on my lap, babe.
I stole that line from Jared Yamamoto. I want everyone to know. He came up with the Scotty line. I want to give credit where credit's due.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, well, there you have it. Got a little bit of impeachment going on, a little bit of Governor Kemp telling you who your next senator is going to be. Governor Kemp, what was that again?
Today, I'm proud to announce that conservative businesswoman and political outsider Kelly Loeffler will be Georgia's next U.S. Senator.
Excuse me, what's her name again? What is it?
Today?
I want to hear from
I'm
her.
Kelly Loeffler.
Yeah.
This is who I am.
Okay.
This is what I believe.
What does that mean, Governor Kemp?
Well, it means that that's who she is, and that's what she believes.
She told me she was a savvy businesswoman.
She is a very savvy businesswoman.
And what does that mean?
That means that's who she is.
Who is she again?
I'm Kelly Loeffler. This is who I am. This is what I believe.
Well, there you go. There's your next senator of the
Clear
great
it
state.
all up for you there, Scott.
My name's Eric, Governor Kemp. But,
Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome. It's Eric.
Erickson?
She, I don't know. My first initial response is needs to be a little bit stronger. You know,
I agree. I mean, we were talking during the break about how if Doug Collins were up there. I mean,
here she is now. Are you a fighter?
My name is Kelly Loeffler,
and you're a fighter.
And I am a fighter. I am from southern Indiana, where people had farms.
I want to point out that's the closest part of Indiana to the great state of Georgia.
That's right, and it's the South. Also,
did you grow up with what? You were in 4-H or something? That's
I was in 4-H.
Well, that's it. She's got my vote right there.
Peanut butter in a blender.
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
Hey, it's over. You said you were in 4-H. You were growing up. Well, I mean, that's it. You got my vote. Why do I need to know that she was in 4-H? Would Doug Collins have to go around telling everybody? Well, I was in Weeblos. I thought it was odd that Kelly Loeffler, when she was speaking there, Governor Kemp said that she's going to be the next senator fill-in for Isaacson. Odd that she was introducing herself. She let us know that she was in 4-H. She was a kid. Which I thought it was odd until I took my little walk around and I remembered, no, it's not odd at all. That's how I got this job. I came into WSB, got together with management. I said, hey, I was in 4-H when I was a kid. You know what? You're our next host. And that's how I got the job. So actually, it's a good resume builder.
In fact, it is.
It's 4-H. You know, I gave my first speech ever. This is true. I don't know about this Kelly Loeffler. I don't know if she's telling the truth or not. I don't know.
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
I know who you are.
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
What? I gave my first speech, public speaking, as a member of 4-H. We had 4-H in Bartlett, Tennessee in 1975 or thereabouts. But even though it was Tennessee, there was no livestock involved. This was just a total in-school 4-H thing. And
we didn't have it in mine either. No livestock.
No livestock?
No, we took a trip to a farm because I was in a farm town.
Yeah.
And we had it in the basement of our church.
Yeah, that's how we would go to the gymnasium and have the 4-H thing. And I gave my first speech. And it was about how the supersonic jet, what was that thing called?
The Concorde?
Yeah, it was before the Concorde. It was when the Concorde was, like it was coming, like in the next 6 months or something. And I gave a speech about how it was bad for the environment. What a little liberal lefty.
Even then they were talking about that stuff?
Yeah, because I don't know. I think for me, I don't know, as a kid, for me, the idea that it did sonic booms.
Oh, that killed birds.
Somehow that was bad. I remember that being part of the speech. So, do we really want this, people?
Windows will shatter.
And I remember that I won the 4-H club speech thing, right? And because, quite frankly, there was really no competition. Literally, I think I was the only one who gave a
How
speech.
to plant flowers.
So I won the little 4-H thing, and then I went to the next level, the next round. And the next round was like on a Saturday, coming back to the school, and a bunch of different schools and people from different schools. And I gave a speech. Boy, oh boy, that same speech, but I goosed it up a little bit. And I remember when I was talking about the sonic booms, there was an African-American lady like in the middle. And I just remember at one point knowing that, and she was the mother of a friend of mine. And at one point I was doing the sonic boom thing, and I just saw her, and she just nodded her head like, mm-hmm. And that's when I knew I got him. I got this crowd. I got him eating out of my hand, and I'm only in 5th grade. I know what I'm doing here. And then I was sure I was going to win, and I didn't win. I came in 3rd place. Lost to some kid, Randy something, who I never liked. He was Mr. Everybody, all the teachers love this kid. Gave a speech about Paul Revere's ride.
Oh, like everybody didn't know about that.
Come on. I was warning people about a new technology that was obviously going to ruin the environment. Now, with hindsight, it doesn't exist anymore, and the environment's still here.
1 if by land, 2 if by sea.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this kid's really good.
Oh, the British are coming. The British are coming.
He wore a bow tie.
Do you still get along with Randys around the office now just because of that?
Yeah, I like everybody named Randy. I just didn't like that Randy. So there it is. It was a resume builder for me, 4-H, and I guess it's a resume builder for Kelly.
Hi, it is.
Kelly.
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
I know your name.
Hi, I'm Kelly Loeffler.
Why do you keep saying your name?
I want you to hear my name. I'm Kelly Loeffler.
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
This is who I am.
This is who I am.
Yeah.
This is what I believe.
This is how I roll. I believe in the American dream. I have a lot of money.
Does she have a lot of money?
Lots of money.
Governor Kemp says she's a savvy businesswoman. Savvy.
Savvy as hell.
What does that mean?
I don't really know.
Yeah?
I mean, it means she's savvy.
Yeah.
She's savvy at this and savvy at that.
So if you need salve, you call it Kelly.
Now, if you're looking for a balm, I wouldn't go near her. But if you need a salve,
she's savvy.
And it's the kind of salve with an L.
What's her name?
She is who she is.
Yeah, what's her name again?
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, let's do this.
The research is in. And after careful calculation, it's called Georgia Stuff.
Georgia. Wow. Isn't that convenient? We just had big Georgia news, and here we are with Georgia Stuff.
In case you didn't hear about it, I just nominated Kelly Loeffler to be the next senator from
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
Great state of Georgia.
I hear she was one of the best and the brightest of Southern Indiana 4-H clubs.
I looked at every resume that came in, every single one of them.
All 500.
I poured through them every
come
night.
on, you tossed a few
Hers
away.
was the best.
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't do that. I saw
Sat
4-H.
down with every one of them.
I said, hey.
Yeah.
You didn't like Billy from White County who applied to be senator?
I did like Billy. He was a nice fellow, but a little too many things in his background I don't really. I mean, he's driving the General Lee car, and
he's a
can't
good
have
kid.
that.
He's a good kid.
Good kid, but
not too self-aware.
Not these days. You can't have that flag on your car.
And Billy, never in 4-H.
No, he
so
was
I don't
a Cub
see him.
Scout, and he quit.
Yeah, he quit. He went to
he
Boy
didn't even
Scout.
make it to Weeblo.
He had Tenderfoot.
That's Boy Scout.
I know that.
He didn't make it.
Wait a minute. Weeblo is after Cub Scout?
It goes Cub
I thought
Scouts,
it started with
Weeblos.
Oh, really?
And then Boy Scout.
Boy Scout.
And Tenderfoot's the first.
Oh, believe me, I know what Tenderfoot is because I was a Boy Scout. I reached the level of Tenderfoot, self-actualized, and got out. All right.
Here's a little scandal before we move on. Doug Collins, he was a brownie.
Oh, you're telling me he never even made the Girl Scouts.
Well, that's why he's a brownie. You figure it out. I ain't got time for that.
We were talking during the break about that. Doug Collins would not have had to identify himself like that.
Well, that's what I was saying, is that just when you get rid of the whole thing behind the scenes and Trump wants this person and wants Doug Collins, Doug Collins seemed like the better choice just because he wouldn't have to introduce himself to the state of Georgia. That's what was her whole thing. I mean, when you're letting people know that you were in the 4-H club, and it's so. I like deconstructing politics because it's not cynical because they're cynical. So it's just deconstruction. They're doing it for a reason. I'm not reading into things. I'm just deconstructing. So that whole thing about the 4-H and I grew up and, like a farm girl and all that is to say that that's to make up for I'm not from here. But where I come from, it's a lot like here. So when I go talk to people around the state that are outside of Metro Atlanta, I'm going to be able to relate to them because even though I didn't grow up in Georgia, the kind of daily routines that they have growing up in the state of Georgia, I had growing up in Indiana. And that's probably not all that far from the truth. The truth is that states like New York State, not the city, but New York State, Illinois, Indiana, most of it is a lot like Georgia, actually. Very rural and a couple of bigger cities.
Pennsylvania, too. I mean, you drive through there, you've got Pittsburgh and Philly, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, don't forget Harrisburg. A lot of fun in Harrisburg.
Sure is.
Woo-wee.
Wow. Watch the river.
Driving through Harrisburg, there's two things in Harrisburg. Amish people and a lot of porn stores. And those seem to go together.
Good old Route 15.
Get out of the way, Buggy. I got a movie to watch.
Always made me wonder if Amish, unlike the rest of society, when they want to disguise themselves to walk into a porn shop, do they shave their beard off? It's like a total different thing. Other people...
No, if you go to the back door.
I have a lot of questions about the Amish.
Well, what do you need?
Well, they can't use electricity, right?
Sometimes.
What is it? Sometimes, or is
If
it all?
no one else is around, you can go into the barn and listen to the radio and watch the TV.
Okay, so I do have to watch my mouth.
Yes.
Because I used to think that you could make jokes about Amish people and they could never complain because they don't have any. They're not allowed to listen.
Yeah. Some of the funniest dirty jokes I ever heard in my life are from Amish dudes because I worked at a convenience store overnight in that area.
Oh, really?
And they would, the Mennonite guy would come in a van that would drive them.
What's the difference between Mennonite and Amish?
I mean, look, I'm going to break it down to this. One drives, one doesn't.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I don't know.
Because the girls have the Mennonite girls, they have like an outfit. Well, they have like that Dolly Madison outfit they wear.
Yeah, they can wear a more fashionable blouse and they wear long denim skirts.
Oh, no, I thought there's one. They look like, like that outfit, that blouse that the girl on Wendy's signs is wearing?
Yeah, that's the blouse they wear. Yeah,
like
with
a
the bib overalls and stuff.
And they sell you bread. Am I wrong? This is my northeastern upbringing.
No, they sell bread, but so do the Amish.
Oh, the Amish have their own bread.
Yeah.
I thought the Amish...
I mean, they're very similar in belief structure, but they don't have that rigidity.
Oh, okay.
And
so the Mennonites can watch TV and stuff.
And drive vans.
Oh, okay.
Work vans. So they'd come in.
So they have a friend who's a Mennonite so they can get driven around.
Right. And so they would come in the morning and buy those little cigars and little mini cigars.
Yeah.
And
the Tipperellos or whatever?
No, they didn't have... I don't know what they were. Yeah. What they were called, but they would...
Swisher Sweets?
Something like that. Yeah. And they would stand in there and drink coffee in the convenience store. And once they got to know me, because I worked there for a year,
they let you in on the
Oh, they were telling me jokes and making me laugh, and I was telling them jokes.
Yeah, you ever offend them?
No.
You never triggered?
No, man. They're real men. Man.
Of course they are.
This is from...
kidding me? These people build a barn in a day.
Yeah.
You know what it takes to get the government permitting and all that to try to build a barn? They build a barn in a day. That's a culture that's doing.
We don't need the zoning laws.
But you do need to drop the German accent. You've been here in America now.
We live in a subculture. Shut up.
1700s.
We can do what we like.
This is from differencebetween.net. The main distinguishing feature of Amish from the Mennonites is the Amish resistance to embrace modern technology.
Okay, well there it is.
That's it.
That's what it is.
Well done, Tim Andrews.
So we can make fun of the Amish because they can't listen to us on the radio, but the Mennonites we have to watch ourselves.
Be careful.
Yes.
Because they're listening.
Right.
That's why my mom
They have
used to tell me.
Xboxes.
My mom used to threaten me with that. She said, the Mennonites are listening. All right, okay. I'll be good.
Sorry, Mom.
I didn't know. All right, so I guess the big story in Georgia stuff is that, Governor Kemp just told us that Doug Collins is not going to be the next senator of Georgia.
Today, I'm proud to announce that conservative businesswoman and political outsider Kelly Loeffler will be Georgia's next U.S. senator.
Today, I'm proud to announce that Doug Collins is going to stay right where he is because he don't got a war chest of cash.
Is that what it is? Is
Among
some of
other
this
things.
having to do with the fact that is she willing? And I hear that she has money. I don't know.
Yeah. She's donated so much money to Republicans.
Right, but I mean, she's not going to try to campaign. I mean, having money is one thing. Having the kind of money, like she doesn't have Bloomberg money or Trump money where you can fund your own campaign. But she may know a lot of other people with money.
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
I know what your name is. Will you stop introducing yourself? I understand. You were in 4-H. It's cool with me.
Get your daily dose of comic relief with Eric Von Haessler mornings at 9. Then shake off the daily stress.
It's gonna be alright.
With Mark Aram weeknights at 6 on 95.5 WSB.
Yeah, 4 constitutional scholars. 3 of them think Trump should be impeached. One thinks he shouldn't be. So there aren't even any fact witnesses today. It's constitutional scholars giving opinions.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm missing it.
Yeah. And then the one who's against Trump being impeached, well, he's the one you see on Fox News all the time. It's such a silly clown show.
It's been referred to as a frat party earlier today on CNN.
Oh, yeah. What do they say on CNN? One side's going to be smart nerds, and then the Republicans are going to be like frat boys or something.
This is former Clinton aide Joe Lockhart.
I think it's really the clash or the collision of 2 strategies. The Democrats are just about the evidence, The Republicans are trying to create a circus. And, I think it's going to resemble, a bunch of nerds on one side and a frat party on the other side.
I love it.
Penny raid.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Mitch McConnell's over there in the punch.
Oh, man. I'm going to put something in this and kick it up a notch. I'm going to take this ladder and go climb up Amy Klobuchar's window.
You know what actually is happening there in that analysis is, you know what, our side's probably going to lose, but we're smarter, and we're right no matter what, right?
Yeah.
We're the nerds, and they're the frat boys. So, frat boys are sometimes popular, but the nerds are. So we're right, even if we lose. Hour 3 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I have that Apple card.
No.
Because I'm one of the beautiful,
white
people.
male.
Well, I'm a guy.
1%.
So I got a great credit line.
Of course you did.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I'm a dude, and Apple understands that dudes pay their bills.
Cosign for your wife.
Yeah. She didn't get nearly the credit line that I did.
Did she get to pick her favorite color?
You know why? She's not a dude. She was able to pick her favorite color. So Apple had my wife's favorite color. Can you believe that? So here's the thing. I'm pretty happy with the Apple card. Actually, the interest rate on it is ridiculous, but I just pay it every month, and then the interest rate is 0. But I can't say I understand everything about this Apple card because I keep getting these updates on my phone about my Apple Card daily cash. So this morning, you received $2.78 in daily cash yesterday, and your December total is $4.02. And I think I'm probably up to like $22 over the last few months.
You're a super saver.
Here's the thing. I have no idea how to access this or how to spend it. I have no idea. I have no idea. Do I just say, hey, take that off the daily cash account? Does anybody have? I have no idea.
Seems like it's like a reward dollar or something like that.
Yeah, but I've never had a reward thing. I've never flown enough.
You get 3% back for everything you buy.
Okay, but how do I access that to say, hey, I'm going to buy myself a cup of coffee at Starbucks? I'm going to use that Apple Card cash. I have no idea.
The daily cash you received when you made the purchase is charged back to your Apple Card, so it just goes right back on it.
Oh, I don't have to access it. I see. Okay.
So it subtracts it from the statement balance.
Oh, I got to keep my eye on that, right? Because they could be lying to me.
Of course they
You know how that Tim Cook is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm nickel and diming y'all.
He's a war eagle.
That's right.
I don't trust those war
Go
eagles.
War Eagle.
All right, let's do this.
More headlines for Wednesday, December 4th.
Can't do Tim Cook. Nobody can do Tim Cook's voice. He doesn't even have
I don't even know
one.
what he sounds like.
He's very just sort of
bland.
Yeah. What do you got for me there, Jared Yamamoto? You have a job here, too. I'm not paying you to stare at me.
Well, UGA is a big underdog to LSU in the SEC championship.
Oh, yeah, because that's that Coach Ogeron.
You need a Hummer?
What?
How dare you?
Coach O!
You need a Hummer?
What
You need a Hummer.
What is going on?
Go Tigers.
I swear to God, this Coach O, I don't know. Hey, we don't want to hear the LSU
Go
Tigers.
Tigers up. Take that down,
Coach
Kirby Stupid. Kirby Stupid. We're going to chop your wood right down and burn it to the ground.
Yeah, they're going to kill you.
I'm going to bring alligators with me and torment you because you're a bunch of dummies. Tigers. Go Tigers. You need a Hummer?
What is this?
I have my Hummer.
What are you going on and on?
Hey, I'm Coach O. I just love my Hummer.
Oh, Coach O.
I love my Hummer.
You need a Hummer?
You need a
What kind
Hummer?
of question is that, Coach O?
How dare you?
You can fill it up with alligators and bring it right out here to your device.
Are you drunk? Coach O, you're drunk. Oh, you're drunk.
Drunk on happiness because we're going to beat them dogs.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat those dogs.
You know what? Kirby had this to say to Coach O.
Told him, how about them dogs? That's what I told him. Excuse my language.
You need a Hummer?
Hey, you know what? Children are listening. What is college football now? Just a completely adult conversation?
Hey, you need a Hummer.
Coach O, I don't.
Go, Tiger. Let me tell you that one thing there, Kirby Stupid.
You're drunk, aren't you,
I
Coach
ain't
O?
drunk. I've been in town for evidence. I drove my Hummer here from Low Baton Rouge.
I'm tired.
What do you have? How about LSU victory is what we'll have.
Told him, how about them dogs?
How about them? They stink.
You need a Hummer?
What is going on between these two coaches?
You gonna need one after you get your butts whooped this weekend by LSU. Go Tiger.
I tell you, this Coach O, I just think he's just drunk all the time. Do you drink at all?
I don't drink a damn thing. Not a drop. Not a drop. Just a happy guy. Look out there, Coach. Kirby wearing a nice visor.
Told him, how
You
about
need
them
a Hummer?
dogs?
You need a Hummer, Kirby, for your visor.
You need a Hummer?
Outrageous.
Shirt's a little tight.
How dare you?
All right, so what's going to happen? We're going to beat them, right? We're underdogs.
We're underdogs, and several of the television, like ESPN analysts, think that it's going to be a blowout. I think that Georgia's going to fight a lot
Yeah, but
better
the
than that.
good news is win, lose, or draw, Coach O is going to be giving out freebies.
You need a Hummer?
Coach O.
That's right. I'll be giving them out after that game. You meet me down there in the swamp.
Find this to be absolute. We have children listening.
Nah,
Coach O.
children, they gotta grow up someday.
Our coverage.
Getting a little too Kingfisher.
It doesn't matter. People, he sounds
that's
like a
Louisiana.
Sounds like a Creole.
Go Tiger.
Cajun.
Now, Coach O, will you be listening to our coverage here on WSB 95.5?
No, I'll be listening to whatever radio stations out of Baton Rouge together.
You need a Hummer?
You need a Hummer. I've been doing a remote this weekend, giving away tickets to some stupid guys.
Did you used to be in radio, Coach O?
I did. I was doing the radio. You go get paid tickets to go see Marshall Tucker Band with me, Coach O, in my Hummer.
Would you drive them to the...
Her little laws on. Go Tigers.
This is going to be a tough one for Bulldogs. What about Swift? Is he going to be at full speed?
He's not going to be. He's not going to be at full strength, but UGA needs him to play in order to.
Well, they need Fromm to play. Fromm's got to have his best game of the year.
Yeah,
you got. I mean, LSU doesn't. I mean, they're just a good team, but their weakness. It's not necessarily their weakness, but their defense isn't as strong as their offense.
Right.
So we need offense. We need to score points in this game. This is not going to be one of those games where you can score 13 or 17 or 20 or I don't think. I think that Fromm's got to come alive, a la mid-season last year. And I know we lost that great receiver, Cager. Was that his name?
That's right.
So it's be difficult.
I think, though, the old football saying about great defense beats great offense.
You ever hear this old football saying?
You need a Hummer?
All right.
I can't say that I've heard that one before.
Okay.
But usually, I mean, everyone's...
A great defense beats a great offense. So we have a great defense.
We have a great
Certainly.
defense, and national media, again, is picking LSU. And I think that UGA being the underdogs they are, hey, they've got everything left to prove there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's...
So how about them dogs? That's what I told
How about them dogs?
Excuse my language.
Hey, how do you think about Coach O coming in here talking about he called you Kirby stupid?
Well, he's a guy out there. He's got a great team, and he's a really good coach, and he goes out there and works real hard. I mean, I know they chop a lot of wood down there. I mean, granted, it's in the swamp and everything, but, I mean, we got to be careful.
I heard they got a guy who does a thing. Every week with Kirby.
They got a guy that does a thing.
Every week, Jay Black is talking to Kirby Smart. He says, well, what about the opposition? He's like, well, they got a guy who does a thing.
They got a guy down there that, I mean, you got to be careful. I mean, he's not getting a lot of coverage, but I mean, if you're working in there and you're paying attention, you know that he's going to get that ball and he's just going to run.
You need a Hummer?
I do not need a Hummer. How about it? You need a Dodge?
That's right. You Dodge Ram?
I think so.
No, I think Ford.
He's Ford.
You're a
Yeah,
Ford
that's right.
guy.
Ford. I don't remember the commercial I was in, but I'll tell you this: we got to be chopping wood all weekend. We're going to have to be there. We're going to be paying attention. We're going to be alert because this LSU, they got 2 or 3 guys there that we got to pay attention to.
Should be a great time. Our coverage on 95.5 WSB starts at noon.
That's
Kickoff at 4.
You need a Hummer?
Jay Black does.
Yeah. All right, next story.
Atlanta Regional.
Everybody needs a new vehicle, right?
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want them in my Ford.
Whoever the new coach is for Bulldogs, they put him in the same Ford spot.
Yeah.
It's almost like they digitally erased Mark Reed and just put him in there driving the truck.
It's exactly the same.
Put the Miami logo on it.
All right, yes.
Atlanta,
what else is going on?
Atlanta Regional Commission officials.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
No, they're
You
great.
don't have to name them by name. I'm just saying, as the commission.
We'll call them ARC for short.
Call them the dream team, if you ask
That's
me.
right.
When it comes to planning commissions, these guys are the best.
They are crafting a long-term plan to boost mobility options around Metro Atlanta.
You know what? I really hope it's sustainable. Is it sustainable? Gosh, I really hope the word sustainable's in your report about 9 billion times.
Now, this plan is going to cost about $173
What is
billion.
it, a 30-year plan? Well, how much?
$173 billion.
Oh, this is great. $173 billion.
But they're looking for your input, Eric.
Oh, they don't want my input.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah. The 30-year plan. So I'm now getting, I told you this before, I'm finally getting to an age where I hear about 30-year plans and I think, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be around to see that one. So 30 years. So if I was 25, a 30-year plan, well, okay, I'll be right there in the salad days of my life. But now I'm 55. So what are the odds? Number one, that I make it to 85. But let's say that maybe I make it to 85. What are the odds that I get to 85 years of age, 30 years from now, and I look back on this planning commission thing and I say, my goodness, they were smart. They were right about everything. And it turned out it only cost half as much to build as they said it would. What do you think the odds are? 30 years. So what's the number we start with?
The number that we start
100
with?
And you said 100 and some odd billion?
$173 billion.
Okay, that's double it, at least. These things this is how you sell. You see, we're not in the 30th year. We're in year 0. So we can lie. So the sell and the pitch is it's only going to cost $173 billion over 30 years. Here's the catch always. Thank you, Planning Commission.
You're
Once
welcome.
you've put the money in, right, it becomes, do you send bad money after good or good after bad? I can't remember what it is. But when you're 12 years into the plan, you're stuck. Doesn't matter how many billions you've wasted at that point. You got to move forward. Can't go back to my constituents and say, oh, no, we put an end to it. It was a complete waste of money. No, I'm going to come back to you and sell you again on how to throw good money after bad.
But Eric, they're going to fix the bottlenecks on 285, 85, 20, and Georgia 400.
Yeah, if I'm still here at 85, I ain't driving, so I don't care. Clark's Christmas Kids begins tomorrow, right? Yeah,
that's
at
right.
the Walmart in Dunwoody. We do this every year, obviously, WSB 95.5. As a community, those of us on the air, excuse me, do I have a cough button? Do I have a cough button?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me put my finger on it. Yeah, that's a great
Perfect.
button.
Nobody heard that.
Yeah, nobody heard that. That's the beauty of modern radio technology. You can get away with all kinds of bodily noises without the audience knowing that you're human. Nobody wants to know. Right. Nobody wants to hear their favorite person on the radio. So we do this every year as a community. We make sure that every child in Georgia wakes up on Christmas Day with Christmas presents. And there are 11,000 foster kids this year that we need to take care of. And that's all I need to tell you. This isn't the old-fashioned telethons. This is like an activation. I feel like it's a switch. And on WSB, when it's time to help out, we can just turn it on. And the WSB community, listeners, everybody on the air, clients, advertisers, everybody just says, no, there's 11,000 kids. They need to be taken care of on Christmas morning. And now it's a matter of the process. And the process starts tomorrow with Clark Howard. He'll be with Mark Aram, Eric Erickson, Wes Moss, Governor Kemp at the Walmart, Ashford Dunwoody. Ask him about Kelly Loeffler's 4-H experience.
Please don't.
And then Friday, I'll be with Mark Aram at the Roswell Walmart on Mansell Road. This is the way it is. We're the WSB community. The reason 11,000 foster kids are going to wake up on Christmas Day with presents, it's like my mom. I say, Mom, how come? And she'd say, because I said so. Well, the reason these foster kids are all going to wake up with presents is because we're the WSB community, and we said so. Yeah, all I'm saying is it's just shot for shot. I mean, you look at the original Star Wars, I mean, it's just all stolen from Kurosawa. Just shot for shot. I mean,
I know.
Are we on the air?
Lucas,
I'm
we're-
sorry.
no.
George Lucas just stole everything.
Sorry, Jared.
I saw something over the weekend because the Falcons had already played and the Bills had already played. It was all red zone for me on Sunday. I just sat back and ingested a few things and watched a lot of football for hours and hours, which to me is that's
perfect Sunday.
My goodness. I mean, do I deserve this life? To be able to sit on my rear end and watch NFL money shots. Right? We're like
it's
6
football
hours.
porn for
It
6
really
straight
is.
hours.
It's just a touchdown. Oh, they stopped him from getting a touchdown.
And if you miss one, they go back and show you that one.
Exactly. So I saw somebody, I can't remember who it was, but one of the kickers, I think he's doing a pretty good job in the NFL. One of the teams is a former Georgia State Panther.
So you must have seen a highlight because it's Will Lutz from the New Orleans Saints.
Will Lutz, that was from Thursday night.
Yeah,
I saw that on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, he is the place kicker for the Saints.
Oh,
and he went to Georgia State.
Yeah,
So he's used to kicking field goals in that stadium.
Well, listen, don't get down on the Panthers. I'll tell you something. The Georgia State Panthers, I think, have overperformed from the time they got together, to be honest with you. I mean, they pushed Wisconsin to the wall. Was that this year? Well, last year.
This year they beat Tennessee.
Tennessee's not very good, but they're not supposed to be in their league, and they beat Tennessee. So this is what I wonder about. If Tech played the Panthers right now, who would win?
Ooh, that's tough. I would say probably State would
If
win.
Tech can, if Tech can't get their act together in the next few years, they need to have a new rivalry where every year they play the Panthers. Let's have something that can go back and forth.
Yeah,
a little bit.
It would be fun too because I bet there'd be more people at Turner or the old Turner Field. What do they call it? Pettit Field now,
I don't know
Georgia
what they
State
call it.
Stadium. I guess what they're calling it.
Yeah.
But there might be more people there than at Bobby Dodd.
Stadium formerly known as the TED.
Yes, formerly known as the TED.
The empty place.
Yes. So I got to say this. I meant to say this early because the game last week at Tech, Bulldogs, and the yearly matchup, Georgia Tech.
Clean old-fashioned hate.
Let me just say this, and I mean this. And I have blood on that campus right now, so this is I have family over
Did you
there
get
now.
cut down? Oh.
No, I have family.
Overnight.
Smarty Pants school. I'm showing off,
Oh, I see.
One of my kids goes to the Smarty Pants
Didn't know if it was some overnight dealings or something that you do around that campus.
Yeah. So this is, I think that Tech alums and Tech fans really should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, they let the we're the home of the Bulldogs. We're rooting for the Bulldogs. But objectively speaking, did I say objectively? I didn't. Objectively.
You said it the proper way.
Supposedly.
Objectively speaking, Bulldogs fans just took over that stadium, Bobby Dodd. What, it was like 3/4 red.
Mm-hmm. Easily.
And I say that Tech fans and Tech alums should be ashamed of themselves. We've got a first-year coach, right? He's walking into a mess. It's been withering on the vine for years. First-year coach, I don't know if he's going to be a good coach. Nobody knows. It's first year. You know, in order to turn something around, you got to recruit. It's going to take a couple of years. So in the first year, in the big rivalry game, show out. It's really, I really think that so how does this help you? How does this help your new coach recruit? Hey, come here to Tech where even people at Tech don't give a damn. Yeah, seems a lot easier. You can recruit and show them what's going on at Sanford. It just seems, I don't get it. I don't get it. You got a first-year coach, and you're just going to sit on your hands until he proves to you that you should come to the game. And meanwhile, you humiliate him by allowing your stadium to be taken over by your rivals. And again, I don't care who's how, what. I was going to be rooting for the Bulldogs, even though I have family on the campus. You want to know why? Because the family I have on campus doesn't pay my paycheck. WSB does. And we're the home of the Bulldogs. And that's my loyalty lies where the money. You want to know about Eric's loyalty? Follow the money. That's where my loyalty is. But am I wrong about this? I mean, honestly,
no, not at all.
It's shameful to call yourselves fans and to leave your brand new head coach basically naked. You threw him to the wolves. He hasn't had time. That's not his team. That's not the team he put together. Yeah.
That rivalry used to not be like that. Georgia Tech fans used to show up at Bobby Dodd Stadium, even though they haven't won in Bobby Dodd Stadium.
They won the first year. It was out in Athens. And Paul Johnson, I think they won the first year, didn't they?
Right. The only time, I think the last time that Georgia Tech has won at Bobby Dodd Stadium at home was 1999. That's a Jay Black stat for you.
Oh, really? Well, so look, you got to keep showing out, okay? Hey, look at Cleveland Browns fans. They keep showing up.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's the NFL and people in the South don't understand. You know, I tell on Thanksgiving, we were at my future in-laws. So there were friends. So I barely know my future in-laws, very nice people, and we've done stuff before. But then there are friends of theirs around. And, you know, the Bills game was on, and we had ordered it up. It's like, you got to eat before 4 because the Bills come on at 4:30, whatever they started, 3:30 or 4. And so everybody knew that. You got to make way for these guys because the Bills are on. And I was like, you know, they're probably going to get killed, so you'll probably only lose us for a quarter, and then we'll all give up and come back to the table. But it didn't work out that way, you know, which is fine. But one of their friends left in the middle and was so freaked out by the way that we were carrying on about the Bills winning, jumping up and down. He's like, I can't take this anymore. Just left.
Wow. And
I thought, he wasn't being mean about it. He's just like, oh, it just is weirding me out. So I thought, but I think the reason is because I think in the South still, getting all excited about pro football is kind of weird still. Oh, don't look at me like that, Jared. You think the world is you. Spend Saturday night in Athens watching a Dogs game and then go Sunday afternoon and watch a Falcons game and see the difference in crowd excitement, crowd noise, loyalty to the team. I think it's just weird in the South for a lot of people. Why would you get that excited about pro football? College, yeah. But pro? That's weird. I'm leaving. They were constitutional experts. Look at them, this lady up there. I'm very serious. They look like they all just fell out of a NPR clown car or something. And I was like, I'm very serious. This is all I do all the time is I'm serious. And as a presidential scholar, a constitutional scholar. Wait, hey, Obama was a constitutional scholar. He's not up there. How come you're not up there?
They asked me to, and I said, Jerry, I don't want to get involved.
You're not in favor of impeachment and removal, are you?
No, and let me tell you, because
you told me you want to keep America great.
I want to keep America great. And,
I'm seeing these studies that say that Trump may have up to 34 to 35% of African American vote. Are you one of those?
I'm one of them. Hashtag Blexit. I don't want to be. I'm like Kanye. I'm free now.
Yeah.
And
I only have till noon.
And okey doke.
Hey,
now Michelle's still voting Democrat, but
you're not.
But not me. Nope.
That's pretty. If those studies, and there's 3 of them now, are correct.
Those are polls.
I'm sorry, polls.
Yeah,
I get confused.
I mean, the
sometimes.
segment lumps them all together, so it's
if these 3 polls, one of them's a Marist poll.
It is.
If they're true, where you've got 34, where Trump has picked up, where he's at 34 to 35% of the African American vote. We'll find out if it's true. But let's say that it's not. But if 3 polls are showing 35%, you got to figure there's at least 22 there, right? Which in and of itself will be huge. And anecdotally speaking, in my life, with my group of friends, the people that my wife and I go out with and socialize with, the person in my life who will give Trump the most vociferous, is that the right word? With a lot of passion, who will speak up for Trump the most, happens to be African American and voted for Obama twice. So it's not like I'm the right wing black friend, not like somebody. What I mean by that is where a pollster could say, yeah, but that guy would have voted Republican no matter what. No,
now are these all African American voters that they're polling, like for both parties, or just Republican?
No.
Okay.
You can't. I don't think you can find 34% of the population that identifies as African American or Republican. No, this is just favorable polling numbers.
Okay.
And I think he got 6 or 7% the first time around. Here's the deal: if Trump can take that 34%, if he can turn that, is that me?
That's you.
Okay. If Trump can turn that into, I don't know, 12%, 13% of actual voters, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a weird period of time we go through. It's quite, if you just look at all the tea leaves now, it's very likely. Now, a week is a year in politics. We don't know what's going to be happening in November of next year. We could be in a war. You don't know. But if you just look at the way things look now, it's quite possible that a president is going to be impeached, survive the trial in the Senate, and then get reelected. That is an area that this country has never been in. And at that moment, and I've said this before, I don't know if the Wolf Blitzers of the world realize this, but if you can go all that way, 92% negative coverage, impeachment, and the guy still wins re-election, an awful lot of entities that used to be considered power brokers will crumble. Absolutely crumble. If the press, and I'm not getting at this from a love 'em, hate 'em point of view. I'm just saying, objectively speaking, the same press that Nixon or Johnson said, when I lost Cronkite, I lost America. That was really true then with Vietnam. Lose Cronkite, lose the media, lose America. If that was true then, and ever since then, people are like, don't want to go on the wrong side of. They used to say back when it was newspapers and magazines, they used to say, don't pick a fight with people who buy ink by the gallon because you're going to lose. This would represent a complete shift in that, whether it's deserved or not. I really need you people listening to me to be nuanced. And what I'm saying is, whether the criticism that Trump gets from the press is deserved or not doesn't matter. Given this point, if you get 92% negative coverage and you get impeached and you win a re-election, those once powerful, influential entities fall. I don't know if the CNNs of the world or the Washington Post, ABC News, if they're thinking about this, but the proof will be in the pudding. You have no influence over votes in this country anymore. And it's going to put us in a whole new place. And I like being in whole new places. Don't you, Jared?
Of course.
Nobody wants the same old
Yeah,
routine.
you want to change things up a little bit. See what the future has in store.
That's why I think on the Democrat side, if Biden, I don't know, he's still hanging in there just because no one, Fox News doesn't want to report this, and for their own reasons, neither do CNN or MSNBC. But it's become obvious that the voters in the Democrat primary are not nearly as progressive as most of the people who are running in the primary. Otherwise, why are they hanging on to the ghost of Joe Biden? He's not even a ghost yet. I mean, they're dragging around the carcass of Joe Biden, and still Joe Biden is at the top. I can't believe that's because people think that Joe Biden is the best. I think they just think out of this crop, he's the only one who has a chance because he's not ridiculous with the socialism. So nobody's going to tell that story. Fox doesn't want their listeners to find out that Democrats may be more reasonable than we've been selling it to you. And CNN doesn't want to tell you that, hey, maybe they're not nearly as progressive as we thought they were. Many Democrats, many of them African Americans and other minorities, might just vote based on the economy, war and peace. Oh, wait a minute. This is where we find out that people genuinely are not so different. Hey, CNN and MSNBC, you could follow the real story and get to where you wanted to go anyway. Is this me?
Yeah, it's you. It's your Siri going off.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Siri. Siri and I got a thing going on.
I see.
All right, that music tells me this thing that's going on ain't going on much longer, but we're not completely done because we're going on to do the podcast 30. And if you want to join us there, find the Von Haessler Doctrine Facebook page or the WSB Radio Facebook page. Click on the red box. You can watch us record the podcast 30. Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Oh, yeah. It's an august ceremony because the podcast 30 begins right now. Come on, fellas, let's go shoot a fox. Tim Andrews is here. J-Rad, rocking the tunes. Look who's joining us from Studio B1. Little Gregory Russ, they call him. And so what happened earlier? Autumn was with us the first half hour, and then she was sick.
Yeah, she wasn't feeling well.
Do we know exactly what?
She didn't specify what it was, but she did apologize for it.
Was she just sick of work? Is that what it was?
That could be it.
Can I hear Greg speak? Say something so I know
Hello.
you're there. Okay, I can hear you. All right.
I am here. He's just waiting.
I was getting a little sick. I had to go. Man, I have to tell you this. Again, I had to be around young people.
Ugh.
I'm going to tell you something. It's not even just like kids these days for me. I nearly break out in hives.
How old?
21, 22, 23, 24.
Okay.
So Zennial to...
That used to be right up your alley when I was that age.
Yeah, I can hang with you, right? We didn't have any problems.
No.
The one thing I was sure of back when I was hanging out with a 19, 20-year-old... I was younger myself, by the way. I was 40 at the time, 39. And when I was hanging out with a young Greg Russ, the one thing I was sure of in my mind, I thought, I'll tell you one, this guy's got my back. He's loyal. He'll never bring up me huffing gas on the radio. That's for sure.
I thought for sure that was a story you had told before.
No, I've told on the podcast 30. I haven't told on the WSB radio.
When did you do this?
I've told the story. The story is, and it's a true story.
I know it's been told so many times. I just thought it was common knowledge.
When
I thought it was out there.
When I was 15, one summer. So this would be the summer of 79.
Summer of
79. Thank you,
Got my
English Nick.
first real gas fumes.
So there was
figured out the meaning of life.
Yeah, there were a few weeks there where huffing gasoline was a thing. It's a horrible thing. Don't get me wrong. But at one time, it was in a glass. It was in a rocks glass kind of, so I could look through the gas and see through the glass. You know. What are you? You act like am I showing you?
No, it's just my God. I thought it would kill you.
Well, moderation and all things. What is going on over there?
No microphone.
All right, go to another microphone. So when I was, how can there be no microphone?
I just think it's down on the other end, but I can go check on it.
Okay. When I was 15 in that summer, there was a few weeks that went by. And one time I was looking and I was doing it, and it started swirling, and my brain started going. And in the middle of it, and I tell you this, I know this is the truth. In the middle of it, I realized what the meaning of life was. And I thought, my God, I know. And then by the time it wore off, I couldn't remember a thing. But I still was left with that feeling. Like, I mean, it was such an aha moment. I mean, it was just like, oh, that's it. I still in my gut feel like I scraped the truth. But I have no idea what
it's
it was.
that powerful.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in your brain disintegrating and becoming one with the universe again. That's where the truth lies.
Yep.
You're killing your brain. Its autonomy is disappearing. It's dissipating back out into the being of everything, and that's where the meaning is.
But, I mean, I really had it, as in I could write it down.
It's like when you dream something, wake up and you remember it, then later on you've completely forgotten it.
Like that. Like that, except this all happened within a matter of about a minute. From knowing the meaning of life to forgetting what it was after that about a minute. But I hate telling, so one thing is you tell stories about your life and people will take it the wrong way and think that you're advocating for it or something. I've had a weird life. I wouldn't advocate that anybody huff anything. That is not a good idea. So kids out there, don't huff.
I'm sorry you felt stabbed in the back.
I didn't feel stabbed in the back. I just felt kind of smacked in the face.
Well, we didn't get any.
I dropped you.
We did not get any complaints about that, but we did get a complaint, a big one, from the Catholic Church comparison that we made with the.
No, that was because Autumn. I made the thing, but then Autumn got too sarcastic with it.
Yeah, somebody got very
people
upset.
have
So
problems.
never listen again because of us making fun of
never
it.
listen again. But I laughed all the time about things that I think are fun to laugh about. We didn't make fun of anything.
Yeah,
It's just that she went a little too far with her characterization.
Well, Jesus has taken WSB off the preset.
There you go. Again, I don't want no jokes about Jesus.
Yeah.
This is something
All right, so go back.
my
Go
people
back
do
to the
not-
kids.
This is
You
something.
never-
Hold on. This is one thing my people just do not seem to understand. While I'm on WSB, I want zero sarcasm about religion. Zero. Why? Because I've given everyone a green light to go just about everywhere else with their imaginations. But I'm not gonna. I don't want to get in that kind of tussle with people. To me, you can make jokes about anything, and we do make jokes about just about anything. But for some reason, I can't even enter that territory without Autumn taking the ball and just raising it. Do you have a point to make, Autumn? Do you have some sort of right? Do you have a gripe here, or it always kind of surprises and annoys me. But I'm the one who brought up there was nothing wrong with the comparison. These people sounded like sitting in a Catholic church. That's what it sounded like. It's just that then she, who like me was brought up in the Catholic Church, she made her voice very, very. No, too far for the comic thing. And I knew when it happened that she was going to piss some people off. But you know what? We're growing. It's at a large level that we can lose a few people. But it's not good. But, the Ravens can maybe handle more penalties because they're so much better than everybody else. But it's still not a good idea to get all the penalties.
You don't want to lose 15 yards at a time if you can help it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
all right,
what
so
it was.
let's go back to the
That's
beginning.
a good way to put it, yes.
Where you were talking about hanging out with some young people. and you
Oh
couldn't
yes,
handle it.
I nearly break out in hives. Although this group wasn't nearly, it was actually nice. My son is they make films and stuff. They don't actually have a film school at Tech, but they have a film club.
Community kind of thing.
Well, and they do it, so it's, and they make films and they do these film festivals. The first one I went to, I felt totally awkward. I mean, I just felt, just sometimes with these kids, you just feel like they're just waiting for you to upset them in some way.
So they can pounce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't like walking around on eggshells.
Were other parents at this thing that you went to?
Sure, there were some.
Yeah.
Not as many as I'd expected. Because I thought I'd be seen as Mr. Horrible if I didn't go. I guess these kids, their parents don't care.
Well, some of them,
I care.
they probably don't live here. That's going to say some of them are living farther away.
Probably. But it was fun. It was a fun thing. And my son was in a couple things and did work, directed one of the things. Did color correction in one. So it was fun to see. And the crowd wasn't as uptight as the first round. But still, I would just rather not be around people who are 20 that I'm not related to. I love my kid. I just get the heebie-jeebies when I'm around
I have
young
no
people.
problem with it personally.
Well, if you're
I
out
like
there,
hanging
you're out
with
there. You're
yeah.
still, you're the world's oldest teenager.
That's
Now
right.
Dick Clark is dead.
Well, yeah, I guess that means.
Well, we're bird
Oh,
dogging.
bird dogging, picking them up, bringing them back.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone out with the intent to hook up with someone? It doesn't seem like something you would do. And I think it's just the opportunity presents itself with you quite often.
No,
and
I
it
meet a lot of
counts.
people in what I do at nighttime, and so sometimes it presents itself. But I don't go, oh, I got to go out. No, I don't.
Any
not like that.
point in your life, though. Not now.
I never have.
No, not really, no.
Yeah,
if it happens, it happens. It's not some. It's not the agenda.
Yeah, I never once, when I was younger, was combing my hair, putting on nice clothes, because we're going to go out and get some tonight.
No.
I don't know who she is, but we're going to go out and get some. That was never.
went out on the hunt?
No, because I found it to be boring.
It is boring.
And then you got to talk about whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
To me, it was like, no, I can remove myself, go in the bathroom for 10 minutes, get rid of all of that, and go out and do whatever the hell I
10
want.
minutes. 1 minute.
Well, Greg,
I
like
mean, if
to-
the situation, if that's
I
the
like to
sole
take care-
purpose.
I like to
if
take
that's the
care of
so-
myself.
All right. If it's the sole purpose of it.
Yeah, you and Joe Biden only takes a minute.
Hey, buddy,
never mind.
minute
I
and
was
a half,
gonna-
pal.
I was going to talk about Biden's piping. I doubt it's working these days. Probably clogged.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got
He has the best medicine money can buy. I'm sure.
The blood's not going to the right places. It's going to his eye.
See my
so
wife?
it's
going to his
misdirected.
eye. Certainly isn't going to his brain. Have you heard him speak extemporaneously?
I've even got some young Democratic fans on the social media who were just can't deal with Biden anymore because of the stuff he's saying.
It's just insane.
It's not what he's. I'm just embarrassed
You
for
just-
him.
well,
He
you know,
stammers. He's a fool.
What it is you. First of all, he was always just kind of a career politician. Joe Biden was never a visionary, or, as a matter of fact, if you look at Joe Biden's record on foreign affairs, he almost always had the wrong call. He wanted us to break Iraq into 3 zones, 3 different countries. He was the only guy in the room that told Obama not to go after bin Laden that night. He's almost always wrong. He's always been just sort of a guy that, for some reason, voters in Delaware would keep sending up there. He's just been there for a long time. So he's never really been that great of a politician. And now that he's this old, even though I would never vote for the guy, see, you feel bad for him, and I guess I'd say the same thing. But he's one of those people that once he starts a point, you start, come on, Joe, you can get there. Come on, you're almost there. Come on, you're 3/4 of the way to making a point. Don't stray.
Another thing, I got roaches. I don't even know what he was talking about. Was he talking about roaches?
I think he must have referenced at that point.
And by the way,
Did you hear this? Hold on. Did you hear this, Greg? Now, this is from the same stuff. You remember the corn pop story?
Yes.
Okay. So the best we understand this is from that. So this is when he's vice president, like 2017. This is probably the same speech, right?
Well, he wasn't vice president then because Trump was elected in 2016.
16. All right. Okay. Right. You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
So he was just fresh out of office.
He's fresh out of office. So
And maybe poor old Joe thought he was still vice president. Who knows?
But he's back at the old pool in Baltimore. I believe it was Baltimore.
The pool down there in Baltimore.
Where he was a lifeguard in the early 60s.
You talked about the guy with the rusty knife or
Yeah,
something.
it was corn
rusty
pop.
blade.
Talked about corn
Corn
pop.
pop.
Corn pop.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Yeah. So now they've gone back to this. And if you haven't heard this, Craig, just close your eyes, listen to this, and tell me if you could ever imagine that this guy will ever be president of the United States.
And by the way, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Okay.
I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
It's painful.
Hey,
I'm
Kamala,
cringing.
Hey, Kamala, look in the mirror. You're loose. You lost to that.
Well, it's media, of course.
While I was listening to that, I have this staple remover.
Yeah.
And I was just digging it into my finger.
mean,
That's the reaction I get. I can't watch the debates.
I was gonna say
or when
this.
he speaks, I gotta turn it off.
I turn it down so I can see when the blood starts shooting out of his eyeballs. But
Well, it's like the person who's screwing up the national anthem on a big stage.
yes, I don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy that. Everyone else likes to mock things like that. I'm just
uncomfortable.
I walk away. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. I'm one of these people. I separate myself from a lot of people. If I'm like, you're like, hey Eric, I know you're building a new house. Something you can come stay with us for a couple weeks, right? And if I walk into a room, this is Jared Yamamoto, and he's asleep and he's talking in his sleep.
You're right.
Most people would probably stick around and want to know what's going on. The first second that I hear
Hangout music shaking knees, 425.
I turn around and I leave. Because you want to know something? I don't want to know the real you. I want to know the you that you face for me.
Yeah.
That's all I want to know. I don't want to be privy to anything deep or anything like that. So I'm not comfortable with the uncomfortable. I would rather look away.
Why wouldn't you record it and put it on Instagram?
Who?
If you came across that and
Oh,
he was
yeah.
mumbling, I would
That's
put
some
that-
viral content.
I would put that on Instagram.
I don't want to know who. I don't for any friends or family. I don't want to know the real you. You just make up a you that's for me a store face. And I'll just-
Storefront face.
Storefront. Yeah.
I'm all about learning the real person because, as I've said before, I appreciate transparency. And if someone came to me and said, "Look, I've been a serial killer for the past 10 years," I'd say, "Thank you for telling me that. I'm sure that was difficult."
Would you turn around and tell on him?
Well, I mean, there's moral battles to be fought at that point afterwards, but I could appreciate it.
I don't know that I'd appreciate somebody walking up to me and
No.
saying, they haven't caught me yet, but I'm still out there
Well, it's
serial
like, look, I have to
killing."
get this off my chest. A serial killer probably wouldn't be having this battle.
Hey,
It's
before I
an
start-
internal struggle.
Actually, if they were telling you that, Greg, you'd probably be the next victim.
Yeah, that's what they tell
So,
everybody.
Yeah.
No, because they would trust me so much. Like, all right, your secret's safe with me.
You think a serial killer's ever been talked out of killing?
Yeah.
Like just somebody who was just like really
By himself, probably.
No, I mean by the person, by the victim.
Yeah, the prospective victim talked him off the ledge, kind of like, you don't want to kill me.
Just something I had in my mind. It's a weird thing. Could never use it for anything.
I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Not that.
Not Berkowitz, but one guy did get away. The last two people he shot, the guy got shot in the head.
Yeah, but he got away. But that doesn't mean I'm saying you talk the serial killer out of killing.
What if you showed no fear, and that's what they were feeding on, is your fear of dying? And you're like, I don't care, do it. I'm ready for this.
I
Maybe
think
that
it's-
would just turn them off.
Yeah, that'd be your only chance.
But they don't care. They want to kill you. You're not human.
Yeah. This is my my idea for some kind of thing that I could never use because there's no real place for it. But the idea is a serial killer is staking out. It's like your good old-fashioned horror movie, right? It opens up where it's the outside of like a girls' college or something because serial killers don't want to fight guys, right? They want, so you're outside and it's that thing where it's night and the serial killer is lurking around. There's lots of windows and he's going to kill some college girl, right? And the idea is when he's almost there, out of another window, somebody is playing like some beautiful work by Beethoven or something. And he gets captivated. And a realization that there's beauty in the world.
Yeah.
And it stops him in his tracks. And he can't go through with it. Like beauty intercedes and gives the serial killer an epiphany. But a serial killer is a psychopath. So they're not open to emotions.
No.
They're not open to, because I found out that psychopath and sociopath are the same thing. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's two words.
So I'm a sociopath.
I don't feel like psychopath isn't the clinical term or something.
Yeah,
It's just,
but it's the same type of person. It's a person who isn't affected by the emotions of others.
Yeah, but can you
And has
be
control
that?
issues.
Can you be that and be normal? Because I really don't have a lot of empathy for people.
You don't.
Well, are you normal?
Don't
Not
you ever
really.
cry? Don't you ever
So-
cry?
I
Don't
cry,
you ever
but at
cry in
weird
like a
things.
weird commercial?
Yeah.
Then you have empathy. You're crying because there's something.
But when someone tells me their problems, I'm like, yeah, well, we all got that.
No. That's like the Talking Head song.
Well, maybe the commercial. If Tim's able to put himself in the situation, and he can be the person that's what I don't know what's affecting you in the. If you can just be that person, that's not really empathy. You're just putting yourself in the situation. You're feeling sorry for yourself.
Publix commercial. Kid comes home. Mom and dad are happy. That's emotional to me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you think about you never came home to that.
No, I went home to that.
So do you think about your life?
It reminds me. Well, I would be angry and want to go kill him.
It takes you back.
What about the salt and pepper shaker that are in love and have the whole family that comes to the table? That
The
gets-
rappers?
Yeah.
No,
I
the
hear
salt and pepper shaker.
I hear the
from Publix
Apple.
commercial.
I hear that the Apple Christmas commercial is a tearjerker. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, every year they have a tearjerker.
Oh.
No, all I know is that the worst Christmas commercial is that Amazon one with the boxes that talk. I had
Everybody.
No.
Somebody.
I had
to love. But why does that? I don't. I gotta say this. I don't mind
It's
it.
a jolly commercial.
Yeah, but what the hell does it have to do with anything?
Well,
Like,
they got the
I
smile.
need somebody
It's
to
the Amazon
love.
smile that's singing.
But why it needs somebody to love? How is that about
Because
giving
you send them a
packages?
gift if you love them, maybe.
No, but you need somebody.
Well, you need to have somebody you love in order to send a gift.
So you're bribing them off with gifts to get their love?
They love me.
I'm usually buying stuff for myself, so it's self-love, really.
Greg, what does this mean when I've had 2 nightmares about those Amazon boxes eating my legs off?
That your girlfriend's ordering too much stuff.
Just gnawing my legs.
Yeah, it means you love Joe Biden.
Well, yeah, I think that you're realizing that Amazon is eating the world.
Yes.
And so that's what's happening.
It is.
What is the Talking Heads song off their first album about people who complain to you? It's called No Compassion. But there's one part where it's like, talk to your analyst. Isn't that what they're paid for? You walk and talk. You still function like you used to. It's a great song.
I love that.
No, it's good. No Compassion. It's like their 3rd song on the first album. All right, what else we got? What are we talking about here, huh? We got to.
Well, you were talking about. I'm sure you talked about this already on the show. I saw it in the rundown, but you were talking about the Christmas commercials and that Peloton.
Oh yeah,
commercial
Well,
that
the
everyone's
Peloton.
railing against.
Now here's the thing. I talked about the Peloton commercial a couple weeks ago, from the point of view of it's just an annoying commercial. The woman comes down, a beautiful woman who has no problems with anything, and it starts off. It's an Instagram-y kind of thing. So you think that you're dealing with this Christmas, but it turns out it was last Christmas, and she started Instagramming being on the Peloton. My whole thing was, these are just ridiculous commercials because she walks downstairs and she's absolutely gorgeous. She doesn't. There's no makeover necessary.
She
here.
could stand to lose a couple of pounds.
Now the controversy is that people who search for controversy is that now the husband, even as skinny as she is, she needs to lose some weight. Now that makes no sense because
they do show her face and she looks scared, like something she's being forced to do.
I don't know if I can do this, right? But I think that it just shows that there is another reason to exercise. You don't just exercise to lose weight; you exercise to be healthy.
Yeah,
and to make your man happy.
Well, yeah, both of those. Yes, absolutely.
Especially if you're exercising in yoga pants, that makes him very happy.
It does make him very happy.
The little girl in the video needs to get on that bike too.
All right, Joe Biden.
Hey.
I love
kids jumping on my lap.
I don't like kids jumping on my lap when I'm on a bike.
Gets in the way of the peddling.
So I brought up the Peloton commercial. The problem with the Peloton commercial is like, are these the neighbors?
I haven't seen this commercial. I have no idea what it is.
Are these the neighbors to the people who the wife says, "Hey, I bought us each a watch. One's black, one's I got a present. I went outside. Hey, I spent $110,000 on Christmas this year. And you get a car, I get a truck."
Here's the thing, though: the house that they're in and they come out of course, you can afford those trucks. That house is like $3 million.
The house looks like
with the biggest wreath on the door you've ever seen.
It looks like the ghost of Frank Lloyd Wright still lives in the basement because he built that house, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, where are these people? This guy, where did he invent the world?
Maybe
he's like 29 years old.
She's so ungrateful that she takes the truck he wants, and he's like, okay.
Well, you gotta please your woman all the time.
Well, we bought her a car.
But she chose the one she wanted.
What I want to know is how this guy who looks to be 32 tops.
He works for Apple or something. He's
works
massive.
for it. He must own
massive.
Apple.
Well, I was going to bring that up with Lexus, how this has been going on for decades now, this December sales event.
December to remember.
Yes. Yeah. How many people are actually buying Lexuses for people for Christmas?
Is that Lexi?
It's Lexus.
Well, it's like Octopus. Octopuses are octopi.
I think it's Lexus
one.
C's.
Sure.
Like feces. Like feces.
Yes.
You can get
a single feces.
No, all of I think that you get to the point. The point is this Peloton is not being marketed to middle class people.
No, it's like a $2,200 machine.
And it's people who can spend $2,200, use it for a week. It becomes a coat rack, and you don't care because you're so rich. You blew $2,200 on a coat rack.
It's like the Bowflex. Remember how that was all popular a couple of years ago? Nobody uses those things anymore.
Yeah, but the thing about the Peloton is you're connected to everybody else around the world doing it.
Yeah, it's
cost
you. I mean, it seems pretty cheap. It's about you can get them over time, but it's going to cost you. It's like the bike itself is about $2,500, I think, and then it's $40 a month
subscription
for the subscription.
Will it not work if you don't have the subscription, or will it work?
I don't know. You know, locks up on you like
Yeah.
an e-scooter. I'm
You gotta
sure it
log
doesn't.
in to
It's like those
activate.
shopping carts that you take
Yeah.
it past the line, the wheels lock.
You own it. I suppose you could sit there without.
If you want.
And another thing, and I'm fascinated by this stuff because when I watch commercials for big companies, you really need to watch these commercials in a different way, because if you want to find out, all right, they're marketing toward demographics. When you watch commercials by big companies, they've spent the money, so they're letting you in on their data. They're letting you know, oh, this is what society's doing. These are the people they're trying. And for some reason with these Peloton commercials, no matter if it's in a mansion or in a neighborhood, apparently everybody rides them in front of a large window where the curtains are open.
That's
It
just for
doesn't
that.
matter.
That's
I
for
mean,
the
like-
wide shot when they pan out and everybody's riding.
But
it.
I mean, everybody, apparently you always place this in front of the largest window in your house
at
with
me.
Well,
no
this
curtains.
is the thing that they presented. Someone's in a penthouse, seemingly in Manhattan or some big city where they're overlooking everything. That someone else had a custom platform made for the thing. So a carpenter came in and created this,
right,
just to put the
Peloton platform.
Yeah, up. Yeah. You know, at that point, it's a centerpiece. This is what you have to treat it.
Fatties.
But apparently, no matter where you are on the socioeconomic scale, when you get a Peloton, you find the biggest window, remove the curtains, and work out in front of the neighborhood.
Well, that's the follow-up gift. When you get the Peloton and you don't have a big bay window
get
the
to put
next
in.
Christmas,
you get
you're not
in,
done.
yeah.
Well, you have to show the Andersons next door that you're fit and you're a better family than the Andersons.
Yeah, hey, we could. Yeah, it's like, hey, did you see the people next door? They got a new Peloton. Shut up! Our stuff isn't good enough for you.
Get on the treadmill.
That's the reaction you wanted. You want to make them feel like crap.
It's that scene in It's a Wonderful Life. Damn, when he's breaking down. My favorite scene is when he tears up the house.
Oh, yeah.
And it starts out and the kid, did you see so-and-so got a new car? What's wrong with our car?
I'm sorry.
And Springsteen's got that song that I totally relate to growing up. Our brand new used car.
No, I don't
know
know
that
that
song
one, no.
off of what's it off of? It's off the first acoustic one, the great one with Everything Dies.
Tom Joad?
No, I said the great one.
Oh.
Not the snoozer from the 90s.
Nebraska?
Raised to a great
Everybody's
cover
all
of the Tom
excited. All the
Joad song.
kids get in the car to ride around in our brand new used car. That's my upbringing. We never had a new car, ever.
Aren't all pools heated, Eric?
Well, that's why I'm in the. That's why. Doesn't that explain? This guy still makes fun of me because he asked me if my pool was heated one time, and my response was, "Well,
Aren't they all?
Aren't they all heated?"
What?
I'm like, what kind of world is that?
I've come a
You know
long
what-
way.
You know what?
I
They
know
are.
what kind of world it is.
That's
it's
why.
the kind of world where you spend money heating a pool in the middle of winter when nobody's in your pool. It's not necessarily a good world.
That is why
you turn it down.
You don't. Yeah, you don't shut it down and put the thing on
Turn
it.
I don't have the thing to put on.
See, that's
you've,
why.
You've shocked a boat owner. This is where you stand
Yeah.
on this scale. A boat owner is shocked by your beliefs on the world.
Doesn't everybody have a boat on Lake Lanier?
It is a pontoon boat, thank you very much. And this is why these commercials stand out to you, is because the marketing is working. You're thinking about that Lexus. You're like,
No, let me tell
you're
you
thinking
what.
about getting your wife
Look,
a new
I
car,
walk
and then
ar-
she's going to walk outside. She's going, oh, I wanted this one instead.
No, my wife be like, I didn't want that.
Here's a Corolla. Shut up.
There's one new
Oh,
car.
great, a Camry. Thanks, Eric.
I'm not sure if it's Lexus, but the newest one is where they're trying to hide the big red bow
Yeah.
that they're going to put on the car. They don't know where to put it.
By the way,
Christmas.
Where do you get those big red bows? Do the dealerships actually
they
have
have
You know
them?
what's crazy?
Yeah.
So
Hey, are you sheep? You want to have a Christmas morning just like the ones you've seen on TV, you moron?
CarMax is now doing that. So they have a cheaper bow than the one that Lexus was the first one to really put the bows on the car.
Yeah, but the price is the price on the bow. You can't
You
negotiate.
cannot negotiate that price.
Let me go ask my finance guy.
Well, I'll tell you what, we can take one row of ribbon off that bow.
We can throw it into.
I don't know, one time I had a friend, well, he's still my friend, he doesn't live close by, but he used to sell cars, and I hate buying cars. So one time I bought a car. I just took him with me. I said, he does my negotiating. Like, he
That's
sells
awesome.
cars. I just sat there next to him, and at the end of the day, he said, yeah, they'll make about $500 on this car at this price. That's about right. And we got the car. But they were starting to play that game on him.
Yeah.
And I just love the way, because what do you call it? It's not pinstripes. What is the stripes down the side of it? What do you call that?
Pinstriping.
Are they Is it called pinstriping?
Go faster stripes.
I feel like it's something else.
Racing stripes.
Whatever, stripes. We'll call them stripes. So he's negotiating the thing, and at one point the guy says, well, we'll have to remove the stripes. He's like, give me a break. It's going to take you more to remove this. Remove the stripes. They're decals. They're already on the car.
Yeah, then they have to scrape them off. Glue. Yeah, they're difficult to take off because I had a truck once that had those, and I hated them.
You hated them,
on the side. There was like a splash, and I peeled them off. But you'd think you could get it started and peel the whole thing off. It didn't. It chipped off.
No, I'm sure that it adheres with some kind of industrial sort of.
It's welded almost some kind of industrial glue.
Yeah.
So, I used to drive down the road in my old Nissan and pick them off. I'd have my hand out the window if they were cool, and then just dig in and pick it out, throw it.
While you were driving?
Yeah.
Pick around.
Well,
why?
I put my hand out the window because I didn't
why
have...
would you pick on it, though?
I don't know, nervousness.
Scab on his car.
You're not comfortable in your own skin at this time?
I wasn't at that time.
Does someone ever come up alongside and slap your hand? Stop picking it.
No, he's usually driving.
Well, if you're stopped at a light, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
He was very experimental. You don't know about northern Pennsylvania in the cold winters.
Oh, let me peel this off. As I punched the front of it so hard that the horn fell off while I was driving. That horn part, I was mad, and I started punching the wheel.
On the wheel?
Yeah, and that thing fell off, and it was honking, and it locked my wheel. And
you know that area? Is it 15 that goes up the mountains in that certain area? Okay, so I'm driving a Mazda hatchback in like 1990 or something.
So they
89, 90.
wasn't even a highway yet.
Yeah. This is like scary roads, freezing. But like me, I don't pull over. I'm like, I got to get to where I'm going. I don't give a damn, blah, blah, blah. And it's night, and it's sleeting. And then...
Is that thing front wheel drive?
Oh, if. It was no wheel drive. It might as well have been no wheel drive.
Is there a woman at the end of this journey?
No, I was just I've been going
you were on the
2
hunt.
years. I was still.
You were on the hunt. Okay,
I was a younger married man, but so as I'm going through there, then the antifreeze, or not antifreeze, but the water that helps you clear the
washer water.
Yeah, it goes out.
Oh no!
So I can't see. I'm on the side of these mountains. It's freezing. I'm actually got my hand outside of the window as I'm driving. As I'm driving, I got my hand out the window. You wouldn't believe it's like the Long Trailer or something with Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. I'm on that kind of road on the side of a mountain.
And then no convenience stores like there are now.
Nothing.
You had to wait till you got to Williamsport or wherever you are.
Winding around mountains.
But he got through it, and now it's something you look back on. And he said, I did that.
Yeah, I did that. And I think I was reading a magazine at the same time.
You lived to tell the tale.
You could have pulled into an adult bookstore and caught the latest flick.
Yeah,
in the booth.
It looked like the storm was going to last more than 10 minutes. I don't know how much I would have bought myself there.
1 minute.
What are you going to hang out?
I got some more ones.
All those bookstores
back there, wasn't it?
All those bookstores. It's really that one stretch used to be.
It was all
Amish
porno.
people and porn stores.
Puritan and 30 miles.
Puritan.
Yeah.
That's the one you would see all the time.
Now they're owned by
Puritan.
Lion's Den.
Yeah, Lion's Den, they kind of clean things up.
Yeah, they're big porn.
Yeah, they're
Lion's Den.
Big porn shop.
I thought Lion's Den is a porta potty.
What?
I thought Lion's Den is a porta potty.
No, they own all the strip clubs up and down the
depends
East
on what
Coast.
you do.
Not strip clubs, but porno stores.
There's a small difference.
You can.
Get your official Lion's Den lube at the counter.
But it was just the weirdest thing. There'd be the water. There's that stretch where you're
The
just going down
Susquehanna
that
River.
winding around. It's just the water, and then those hills and all those shanties like built into the hills, and then the Amish, and then porn shops everywhere.
Truckers welcome.
Just don't take a shower here. All right, English Nick.
Yep.
I just wanted to prove I knew your name.
Oh, thank you, Eric von Haessler.
My wife always gets everything slightly wrong. We were talking yesterday on the way to this thing, and she brought up, British Nick will know. Why do you have to get everything a little wrong?
Oh, come on.
It's English Nick.
British von Haessler, get it right.
Yeah, it's always a little wrong.
Welsh Nick.
That music tells
Scottish
me,
Nick.
you know, as my audience, I would stay here all day long and not go anywhere. I do it for you. But these other people, not committed like me. So therefore, I'm going to have to take some time off. But we'll see you again at 9 o'clock in the morning because they're contractually obligated. Me, I'll be there just because I love you. You know that. We'll see you then.